right, we will call the January 6th regular City Council meeting of January 6, 2026 to order at 6:30, and we have a quorum as all of council is here. We will say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, well, Happy New Year, everyone. We will start off with council reports. Ed Waters.
I don't have anything to report at this time.
Okay. Rick Fisher.
Nothing to report, just no meetings for Parks Committee. They're going to be doing another garden party here eventually this month to be doing some more plants. But other than that, Happy New Year.
Okay. Councilman Jeff Terrell.
I had nothing to report this week, Mayor.
All right. Councilwoman Susan Baker.
Also, good Happy New Year. Why is it not coming?
You're on.
Oh, there it goes. Just want to thank everyone who helped with everything around the island. I mean, this was a very festive, party, active year, and looked all very successful with the carolers and different parties. So, you know, that's what makes this island so great. So, thank you all for everything that y'all participated in or helped with. It was a great holiday season.
All right. Thank you, Susan. Mayor Pro Tem Amanda Fenwick.
Yep, ditto on the Happy New Year to everybody. January is School Board Recognition Month. I did not have my act together to get our school board members here to recognize them, but I spoke with Randy, and we're still going to do some kind of recognition for them, and either invite them maybe to the February meeting or perhaps take something to them at their school board meeting later on this month. So I just wanted to publicly recognize and thank our school board members for all that they do for us. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, Amanda. All right. Well, I'll start off with our volunteer committee party. Was a huge success. It was a lot of fun. We had a huge turnout for that. Amanda, thank you for all the decorations and everything you put into that. There was a lot of work put into that, and it was awesome. Also, our employee party was successful, although there were a couple people feeling under the weather. Christy whooped up on us a little bit in some of the games we played before she cut out of there, but we had a lot of fun there too. Update on the boat ramp. We're going to be closing the boat ramp parking lot January 16th, the evening of January 16th. We really need to close that down a day in advance because it takes that long to purge everybody out and get everyone used to it not being open. And they're going to mobilize that Monday. They could be bringing some things in over the weekend. But as of Friday evening, the 16th, that boat ramp's going to be closed indefinitely. So we will push some of that out. Teresa, I'll get something to you on that. Just found that out this afternoon before the meeting. And then I do have some signs that we're going to be putting up front on the stop signs to remind everyone that that is closed. So I'll be getting with you, David, on what we're going to do over there, too. I think we're going to put some barricades up temporarily before they actually fence it off, and we'll move forward with that. But I want to secure that area because they are going to have a barge, some tools. There are people that don't live here that don't get this message. So if you're a citizen and you have friends that come, please get the word out to those people that it's going to be closed indefinitely till it opens up sometime in April. But stay out of there. That's their work area now. It's no longer ours. I will, let's see, what's next on my list? We have an upcoming election on May 2nd, 2026. We have 3 council positions that are expiring. That's going to be Amanda, Rick, and Susan. The applications are available on our website and in person at the City Hall. Filing date it starts on the 14th of January this year, and it ends 5 p.m. on the 13th of February. I would like to say I want to thank all the council for what I think is a great job that they've done over their term, all of you, not just the ones that are scheduled to come off. And I would encourage all of you citizens that if you feel the same way, please encourage the ones that are coming off to rerun again, because I think they've done a fantastic job, and they need to hear that from you. If you're not telling them that on a regular basis, they don't know that, and sometimes this can be a thankless job. Although we're all very proud to serve you all, it's nice to hear the positive things back from you guys too. So get with those council people that are coming off and encourage them to run again. I think they've done an outstanding job. We got our decibel readers in. Got them yesterday evening. I gave David his this afternoon. He's going to play with it. We're going to be going around the island taking some readings. We're going to work with some of the music venues and see where we're at with all that and kind of see what we got to do. But now we have one that is a professional, certified, registered decibel meter. So I know there were a lot of questions in some of the talks about that. This is the one we're going to be using. I'm not sure about the ones that the music people use, but this is the one that the city of Clear Lake Shores is going to be using, and that's the one we're going to go by. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else. Do you have anything for me, Christy? No. I think just the election, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. We will move on.
Anyway, Randy, one more thing. I think
Yes.
I saw something Diana posted. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock or 9:30, they're going to start taking the Christmas decorations down, so if anybody's around and wants to help do that.
I'll be at work. I try not to get involved in that. I wouldn't do it right, so that's why I don't get involved. Yes, you're right, Rick. I think she did put something out on Facebook, so anyone and everyone that can help, please help. Sometimes it's enjoyable putting it up. It's pretty hard to take it down and organize it and stack it up in the right place so it's easy to get out. So anyone that can and has time, please help with that. Thank you, Rick. Do you have anything else? Okay. We will move on to staff reports. Chief David Donaldson.
Yes, Mayor and Council. We had 1,173 calls for service. This includes self-initiated contacts. Broke it down in a pie chart. We got 51% is business checks, 18% was traffic, and 16% was residential checks. The other 15% was miscellaneous. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Does council have any questions for David? Or anything they want to say to David?
Got one thing. So today we placed a stop sign, I placed a stop sign at Depot Park on the west side. Had complaints of fishermen and others parking in people's yards and stuff. So we have a no parking sign there now.
Okay. Where is that now?
It's on the west side of Depot Park, so not near the park. It's on the other side of the street.
On the stop sign sign?
Yes.
I thought we did have one there at one time.
We have one further up, but they're parking in people's yards because it's not posted. So it's
Yeah.
posted now, and we'll definitely act on it if it's violated.
Well, and on that note, now that you bring it up, I'll mention it to you here. I have had a couple people approach me on the street saying, hey, I'm handicapped. They're parked here, and they don't have a handicap sticker. That's my parking spot. So please kind of check into that from time to time when your guys are making their rounds and run those people out of there that shouldn't be in that spot.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. City Administrator Mike Cram.
Thank you, Mayor. Without blowing too much sunshine up your skirts, I think it's of paramount importance that those council members who are coming up on their terms consider very strongly running again. This is probably one of the best well-oiled groups of council I've ever seen. You guys work together very well. Makes my job a lot easier. So my vote is y'all stay on. And
See, he can do that. I can't.
I will pay people to at least vote twice. On a serious note, as you've seen on the agenda and from previous agendas where we had to break the news about repairs to the pool, we also have some major repairs, emergency repairs that we need to do to this building so nobody falls through the deck. Because of that, we're holding off on continuing with any plans to replace siding and update the electrical to City Hall until some other time. And I've got a plan for that to discuss with council at a later date when that time comes, but it involves EDCs and council kind of in a coalition. And so I think we can make it work down the road, but I want to get the boat ramp done first and clear up all that with the EDC funding and get all the reimbursements from the state for the boat ramp project first. We received a permit request and plans today for the bulkhead repairs and the adjacent pavement and property repairs at the old Starfleet Marina. That will be the first step in the expansion of Marina Bay Harbor, the boat storage and the ship store that they're going to put there. The ship store they plan for putting there on that bulkhead area when they finish, they'll have fuel piers as well. There's going to be a 5,000 square foot, basically full service little store. It's going to have some fresh foods. It's going to have drinks. It'll have things for the kids. They want to make it a destination for people on the lake, and it will be unique in that it's the first of its kind that's coming to Clear Lake. So I would expect that we're going to see a lot of boat traffic once that comes to fruition in that canal. And the cash registers in Clear Lake Shore, so that matters to us. Finally, the city secretary and both court clerks recently achieved professional certifications in their respective disciplines. These certifications required many hours of study and then testing over volumes of information. So if you would, join me in congratulating our city secretary, Christy Strop, and Tiffany Wilson and Desiree Sines, who aren't here right now, who are both court clerks. They all achieved professional certifications that are not easily obtained. So. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Mike. Anybody have anything for Mike? All right, we'll move on to committee reports, roads and drainage. Anyone here from roads and drainage? David, would you like to go give any report?
I've been communicating with Thomas. He's still out of town, out of state actually. There's nothing really new to report. We don't have any updates from Colliers on the Narcissus project yet, but that's still on our radar as the next thing we're going to try to accomplish.
All right, thank you. Parks Committee. Man, you're just in time, aren't you?
Happy New Year. Back to school today and back to crazy life after school. Anyway, we really don't have much to report. We're not going to meet this month for our actual meeting because we're going to be in the parks working, using hours there. So we started last week. If we don't finish up this week, we'll finish up next week. And so that's all I have for us right now.
All right, thank you.
Can I
Yes.
kind of piggyback on that? She needs to be recognized for the amount of work she's done with parks. She keeps me straight. I've been communicating with her and Earthworks repeatedly this week alone to make sure that they are completing all of the work that was in the RFP and in the contract, and Mary has stayed very astutely on top of that to make sure we're holding them accountable. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mary. Moving on to waterfront compliance.
It's spring, and we're going to be scheduling a waterfront bulkhead walk to make sure that everybody's in compliance. So that should come around in March or April.
All right. Thank you, Ed. Planning and zoning.
No report.
Report. How about zoning board of adjustments? Anyone here from that committee?
We haven't had a read.
Yeah. Okay. We will be, Mike, we didn't mention, but we will be having that workshop here coming up. I'm sure you'll talk about it on the agenda item. All right. Economic Development Corporation. Anyone here from there?
Spoke with Thomas again in regard to this. There's nothing new to report.
Okay. All right. Civic Club report.
Yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. I think in the past, in December, we had 2 really good events. We had the lighting of the Christmas tree, thanks to Randy's lovely wife. It was very successful, and we'd moved it in here, and I think that was a good move because it was quite cold outside. And then we had the progressive dinners, and that were very successful, and thanks to all the people that put out their house there to do that. I'm a little bit behind and I got the calendar for this year finalized. We had a meeting last night. We have a Civic Club meeting Thursday, January 8th here. We had to move it because January 1st, obviously, holiday. And then we're still I think we got a conflict with man cakes. I think this is rented out on the 8th. That's when we kind of wanted to have it, so I got to get with Tiffany and see what's available for man cakes to keep it as close to February 14th as possible. And then our big event, it's early this year. On the 14th, Valentine's Day, we're having our Mardi Gras gumbo cook-off party. It'll be at Okies, and then we'll have a golf cart parade prior to it as well. So that's all I got. Any questions for me?
Golf cart contest parade, right?
Golf cart.
Don't you give an award away for
yeah.
the best decorated golf cart?
Yep. Sure
Awesome.
do. I think it starts at like 10. Oh, the parade. I'll get it to you. I don't.
Yes, please do. I was going to say, please get with David on that so you have an escort for that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bruce. All right, moving on, we'll go to public comments. At this time, any person with city-related business may speak to the city council if the topic of discussion is related to an item on the agenda. The comments may be made now or at the time the agenda item is discussed. If the topic of discussion is not related to an item on the agenda, the city council cannot deliberate or take any action at this time. Comments from the public should be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per individual, and no yielding of time is permitted. Would anyone like to address the city council? Y'all don't fight over the microphone. Okay. We'll close the public comments and we'll move on to number 9, the consent agenda, the check register, and the city council meeting minutes. Do we have anything we want to pull from there, or do we have a motion to accept that?
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda items A and B as presented.
Okay, we got a motion by Rick Fisher.
I'll second.
Got a second by Jeff. Any discussion on those items? All in favor? Okay, motion passes unanimous. We'll move on to item 10, new business. Discussion and possible action may be taken on the following items. A, consideration of possible action to cancel the second city council meeting in January 2026. Mike Cram.
Thank you, Mayor. The reason I'm requesting this is based on some conversations the mayor and I have had about finalizing the sound ordinance stuff that I wasn't here for the discussion from previously, but we wanted to have a joint meeting with planning and zoning and council together so that we know exactly moving forward we can actually draft something that makes sense that everybody agrees on before we start rehashing it at different meetings over and over. I just think it'll serve our time a lot better, and Dick and I have talked about some other planning and zoning things that we probably want to consider addressing at the same meeting if they need discussion. So that's the purpose for my request, to consider having just the one meeting in January, and then using the other meeting time to have a public meeting with planning and zoning.
Okay. Any questions for Mike about that, or do we have a motion on that item?
I make a motion that we cancel the second city council meeting in January 2026.
Okay, got a motion by Ed.
I'll second.
Got a second by Amanda. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, motion passes unanimous. We'll move on to item B, consideration of possible action to approve a contract with Norex Engineering Incorporated for professional engineering service. Mike Cram.
So as everyone knows, we already have an existing contract with Colliers, and we use them for major engineering services, but we also use them for drainage inspections and that kind of thing for construction. Because of their geographic location, they're out in Katy. We get charged for basically 2 hours of drive time plus whatever time they're on site. So it's triple the charges, basically. Norex isn't going to charge us for drive time coming from Main Street on League City to do the same type of thing. Their rates, they've given me a rate sheet, their hourly rates are comparable, but it's always good to have basically a second horse in your stable when it comes to engineering services, because you can easily get priced through the roof. And so and at times you can get slow turnarounds, so you want to make sure that their competition exists so they're still hungry for your business. And I think it serves us better if we have somebody like Alex who still has a vested interest in the city and is local, so he's easily accessible to us. Not that Collier's hasn't been responsive to us. That's not what I'm saying. I think it serves us better if we have just more than one horse in the barn.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about that, or do we have a motion on that item?
I'll make a motion we approve item B to approve Norex Engineering as the professional engineering services.
Okay, got a motion by Jeff,
I'll second that.
got a second by Ed. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, motion passes unanimous. We'll move on to the next item. Consideration and possible action to approve the May 2026 general election contract with Galveston County. Once again, Mike Cram.
This is something we have to go through every year to approve the county to handle our elections. And assuming that those who may be running for office again here, sitting at the tables, are unopposed, then we will do it the same way we did it last year, where we notify the county we don't need an election. But this is the contractual agreement for them to run it if we need it.
Okay. We have a motion on that item?
I'll move to approve the contract with Galveston County for May 2026 general election contract.
Okay, got a motion by Amanda,
I'll second.
got a second by Jeff. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimous. Move on to the next item. Consideration of possible action to approve ordinance 2026-01, an ordinance adopting amendment number 2 to the approved budget of the city of Clear Lake Shores, Texas for the fiscal year 26, increasing the amounts and expenditures accounts of the general fund due to unforeseen situations, containing findings, providing for severability, and providing other details relating thereto. Mike Cram.
This item is in relation and consideration for council approval prior to item E, specifically to the emergency repairs we need to do on the clubhouse. If you've walked this building and looked at it closely, you see that the eyebrow eaves we have on either end are collapsing. The doors on the second story at both ends don't have pans under them, and we have water intrusion that's actually rotted all the flooring up there, all the flooring in that area. The biggest consideration and concern that I have is the decking and the railings that all of our citizens use to access our public building. If you've walked up some of these staircases, you feel like you're not really in a good place. We've already had somebody fall on the handicap ramp and break a limb previously this year. I want to make sure that we don't have any accountability as a city because we didn't pay attention to something that needs repair. And in my opinion, this building is grossly in need of emergency repair. This doesn't include the flooring inside here. I want to save that for a different, because that's not an emergency in my opinion. The water intrusion into the building, the failing beams, those are emergencies. And the decking that we have that's rotting, those are emergency repair needs. So I'm asking council to give consideration to approving this budget amendment to come from general fund so that we can then move on and discuss item E.
Okay. Do we have a motion on that item?
I move that we approve ordinance 2026-01.
Okay, we got a motion by Rick. Got a second by Susan. Any discussion? Any questions?
One question.
Susan, turn your microphone. Thank you.
Thank you. Reading through the information you provided in the packet, are we going to do these stairs or do anything with this group? Okay. Is it going to change?
All of the stairs, all of the deck,
stairs a little
not
bit?
unless they're out of conformance with standard.
Okay.
It'll be replaced in kind. And we've already had the ramps checked to make sure they're a 1 in 12 rise so that they're compliant with ADA, but they need to be smooth. They don't need a lot of ripples in them. People don't need to be tripping on their way up. But no, we're not changing the designs of things, not unless it's out of standard.
Thank you.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion passes unanimous. We will move on to the next item, item E, consideration and possible action to approve emergency repairs to the Clear Lake Shores Clubhouse in the amount of $73,857 to include replacement of all exterior decking, stringers, ledgers, failed pilings, handrails, stairs, ramps, water damage, second story flooring, and exterior doors, and failed gable rafters and corbels on the north and south ends of the building. Mike Cran.
The only thing I really have to say about this after the previous discussion is I had to figure out what a corbel was. So the corbels are those things that support those eyebrow eaves at the end that are sagging so badly, and so there's structural support behind those as well. So we've got to find out if the structural support behind those is actually capable of supporting new replacements. But yes, this is exactly what we discussed earlier.
Okay, do we have a motion on that item?
I'll move to approve emergency repairs to the Clear Lake Shores Clubhouse in the amount of $73,857.
Okay, have a motion by Amanda,
I'll second.
got a second by Jeff. Any more discussion? All in favor? Oh, never mind, hold on.
Who do we already have somebody that has approved bid on this?
If council approves this, then yeah, it'll be CLS Builders.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion passes unanimous. We move on to item F, consideration and possible action to approve a contract with Preferred Pools of Houston, Inc. in the amount of $21,220 to replace coping and tile on a community pool. Once again, Mike Cram.
So I've had to answer emails about this item this week, and I wanted to share with council my explanation to the citizens so that you know the page I'm working from. When I was made aware of the need for the pool repairs, I started researching when they were done last. That was in 2021. I looked over the contract we had with the company. I contacted them, the one that did the work. They came out and looked at it and told me that there's no warranty to be had on it. So I then solicited a bid from the people who maintain our pool now, the lifeguard services and the pool maintenance that we have the contract with now. Got a bid from them. Then I reached out to the company at the front of the island. Their name escapes me right now.
Southern
to get a
Charm.
bid. Southern Charm. They never returned a quote to me, so nobody ever got back to me from them. And then I was approached by David from Preferred Pools. He actually came up to City Hall and asked if he could give us a bid, if I would go show him what was damaged at the pool and or failing at the pool, and he could give us a bid or a quote, and he did. His was not the lowest quote. It's the next to lowest quote. The lowest quote was from the people who did it in 21, and I am not comfortable spending more city funds with a company that we're replacing everything from 5 years later. To me, that's abysmal, and so I can't recommend council go with the lowest bid or the lowest quote. So my recommendation is to council just go with the next one, which is Preferred Pools.
Okay. We have a motion on that item.
So, I guess my question is there a warranty on this new work? Since there was no warranty on
There is a minimum of 1 year on certain parts and 2 years on all labor.
Is it a better product, Mike, than what we had before?
Yeah, the coping that they put out there, in fact, the people who installed it said that they advised the city officials they were working with not to use it when they put it in. They said there is no warranty on this precast coping. And the coping were the only problem, I would be okay, but the way it was installed, the spaces that were left behind the coping and the cool deck, the cracking that we have in the tile adjacent to the coping, all of that, to me, is a workmanship issue. But yes, to answer your question, they are replacing it with travertine. They will cut it to length on site and bullnose it on site so that it has no rough edges, but that will close up the giant expansion gaps that we're filling with the rubber caulk now. They're going to do it right. So it'll be a better product, and it should look a lot nicer than it does now and not have the trip hazards that we have now from it.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. Do we have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion we approve item F to approve preferred pools in the amount of $21,220 to do pool repairs at the pool.
We have a motion by Jeff. We have a second by Amanda. Do we have any more questions or discussion on that item? Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion passes unanimous. We will adjourn the meeting at 7:03.